Welcome to Decoding Network Marketing, the non-sleaze way to build your business, grow your teams, and generate income beyond your family and friends. And I am your host, Mary Ladisa. Guys, I'm excited to have you here. You are going to get a phenomenal training today. We have Tamira Hamilton here, and she is going to teach us about a new concept, guys, and that is leads, but not how you think. So, for those of you that don't know me, a little bit of my background is that I'm also a network marketer, been in the industry for about 10 plus years, off and on, successfully and unsuccessfully. We're all growing our businesses here, right? So I've worked on the product side and the service side, and you know what, guys, we have a gold mine in this industry. So it's part of my job to help keeping things fresh and new for those that are coming behind me and learning from those that came before me. So, guys, I'm looking forward to these tools and tips and strategies just as much as you are. So, guys, one thing I ask is that you get a pen, paper, notebook, cell phone, iPad, whatever it is that you can take a note on, grab it and get ready to take some notes because you are going to learn some great information here. So, our speaker today I've already introduced. So, I'm just going to turn the floor over. And Tamira, once you finish handling your business,
Always show with me.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And just so everybody's clear, it's Tamira.
Oh my goodness, you let me mess that up anyway.
It's okay. I am so used to it, but I got people who follow me around, and I'm gonna get messages about why she kept saying Tamira. It's Tamira.
Thank you for looking. And I've been saying this all since we met initially. Yeah. I've been over to me repeating. I've been saying long eyes, long eye. Yeah. Incorrectly.
It's okay. Right. My family don't say it right either.
Tamira, guys. Yeah. Tamira, please help us.
I heard that a time or two in my life. Tamira, please.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Tamira. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I have been in Milwaukee, gosh, probably close to 20 years, like 15, 17 years. I've got 2 adult children, 29, going on 30, and 24. And then the light of my life are my glam babies. They are 7 and 1. I love all things beauty. I love all things self-care. I love to travel. And my favorite food, you do not have to follow me a long time on social media to figure this one out, is tacos. So if you follow me on social media, you're going to see me eating tacos. You're going to see me eating pizza too. You're going to see a lot of tacos and pizza. So
nice. There you go. Round the way, girl. Who does not love tacos?
Exactly. Like, we can't be friends if you don't like tacos. We just can't. Yeah.
I got you. So, Tamira, let's talk about this. We're going to go right into your topic. Conversation is the new lead.
Yes.
And so let's talk about that.
Okay, so I want to give just a little bit of my background because I just gave the I like tacos. I like makeup.
Go for it.
I actually have over 22, probably more like 25 years of corporate leadership, marketing, and sales experience. When I began marketing online in 2013, even though I had the bachelor's degree, even though I had the master's degree and marketing and finance and all that great stuff, right? I still had to learn internet marketing, okay? And that's important to know because one of the things I see new people do is they look at where someone is now and they ignore the struggle, the path, and the journey of where someone is now. And so it's very easy to look at me and say, oh, I know your background. You've got a strong background in marketing. You've got a strong background in sales. But I like to impress upon people that even with that, I still had to bring and up level my skill set. And that's going to be a huge part of what we talk about today. And when you asked me to be on the summit and I said, well, what's the topic? Because I'm kind of malleable, I'm kind of ambidextrous, you know, I can flow with what the topic is.
Yeah.
And you said, basically what I heard you say is, this is really geared toward the person who's new, the person who's starting or resetting their network marketing business. And I'm like, oh, that's great, because I reset my network marketing business every 6 months. Okay. And so when we talk about it from that perspective, if I were going to square one, if I were starting over today and had the luxury of knowing what I know today, based on the past almost 10 years, it would be conversation is the new lead, right? Because there's strategy and there's tactics. Okay. And you're going to hear a lot of gurus and leaders online preaching tactics, and you're going to be chasing these tactics, and you're not going to get the results that you want because you don't have the strategy. And the strategy is conversation is the new lead. Okay. And it's going to boil down to this. You're going to often hear, you might not hear it as much as you did back when I first started, because boy, they were really against me doing things online. It was all about that old school belly to belly. Right? Belly to belly, build your own backyard. And my response then and my response now is the same, because back then it was like, no, I want to do it online. And now you're going to be telling people you got to do it online. And I'm going to tell you it's both. Okay. And what you can do offline, you can do online. And what you can do online, you can do offline. And if you remember that, you are going to win. So what does conversation is the new lead mean? It means you are in the business of collecting friends. And how you collect friends is you have conversations, right? The person who has the most conversations, the person who helps the most people with those conversations is the person that's going to win. And that's our training for today. Thank you for coming.
So you're telling me that the person who is an introvert, a person who doesn't really care for people, you mean that they're not going to grow their business if they're not having conversations?
Yes. And I'm going to shock you and tell you that I am the introvert who doesn't like talking to people.
Okay.
Which is why I was so adamant about building my business online. And the mistake that I made was wanting to put it 100% on autopilot and collect leads, collect customer orders, and grow my team on autopilot without having to talk to people. And I'm going to tell you that that is a mistake. Okay. It's a hybrid. It's doing both. Okay. It's really doing both. And the great thing is, being extremely introverted, I'd much rather have the conversations online than in person. Because being introverted simply means, how do you recharge? Where do you get your energy from? And it's from, because we typically are kind of like empaths. And so we absorb a lot of other people's energy, which is why we like to be by ourselves, because we don't want to be absorbing everybody's
stuff,
energy and their stuff. And being online allows you to not have to absorb that. Now, I can still feel some of it via the interwebs, but it's not as heavy as it is in person. And so and the other thing, the other beauty is that when you're online, you're going to be able to have conversation with people that you would have never met in person, because they're halfway around the world. They're in other countries, they're in other states, and you can really hone in on, I like tacos. So where are the people online who like tacos? That's why I made sure to drop that information. Where are the people? Where are my people online? Because that's going to take that introvert concern from here down to here, because you're going to be surrounded by people who have common interest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I light up like a Christmas tree. The only time I super duper light up like a Christmas tree is when I talk about my grandbabies. Like I just
you just lit up just now.
yeah. Babies, I just like straight up light up. But when you talk about the things that you have a genuine interest in, that you follow closely, you're gonna light up, and you're gonna come out of that introvert shell, and that light is what's gonna draw people into you, because you're lighting up about the things that you enjoy, love, and know, instead of leading with meeting people and going straight to talking about your company and products.
Exactly. And so that you brought up a good point there. So it's important then that you are making sure that when you're connecting with people, you're just not going into any kind of, groups online, you're intentionally going where the people that you connect with and identify with, they hang out.
Right.
You're intentionally doing that. So for those that are, I don't know what the term is, it lurker? Is that what the new term is that I'm hearing?
They call them lurkers.
Yeah, you could just go anywhere and just kind of look around. You are going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel, pushed away. And go where the people are that you identify with.
Right. Exactly, because that connection is really the impetus to everything. It's the alpha and the omega, right? Because the problem with people just joining you randomly from the internet that you don't know and haven't built a connection or relationship with is you might end up being in the business of convincing them. And Tamira is not in the business of convincing people. I am not here to persuade people. If I got to convince you to join my team, I got to convince you to stay. I got to convince you to work every single day. And that's a lot of heavy lifting. And my introverted self just, no.
You're after time freedom, not to get handcuffed to. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm not in the business of convincing people. I want like-minded people to be attracted to me, want to be in my light, want to be in my energy, want to learn from me, and together let's change the world.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm here about. I'm not looking to build a team that's built on resistance of people that I got to constantly beg, plead, borrow, rob Peter to pay Paul to keep on my team. I'm not interested in it. Right. And so that's why connection and leading with connection is so important, because it's going to be the binder. It's going to be the glue that holds people to you. It's going to keep your people going on those days where their why factor, their reasons for sticking around and doing it might be a little low, but they can borrow some of your energy and light. Connect it.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree with that. And so I think it's also just important for us to understand that there are various reasons why people, join network marketing companies, and connection, I found is like, I don't think you go there looking for connection, but it's a byproduct of working together, right? You start to build those relationships. But for the person that gets in and they're just like, I'm a loan shark, right? Again, I'm trying to, I'm not going to deal with people. You have to be able to make those connections for building your business and building your team. It's all intertwined. And so when I see people that get into the business and they're just like stuck, they don't move, they don't connect, they won't reach out to a team member, they won't reach out to an upline, they're self-sabotaging out the gate.
And that's how I got into attraction marketing, to be honest with you. And I was in attraction marketing before I knew what attraction marketing was, and I was in attraction marketing before I got into network marketing. Okay. I was in a job where I had to cold call people. Here's the yellow pages. Here's anywho.com. Start calling businesses to sell them computer peripherals and equipment. And I was like, calling and saying, hey, buy my MacBook Pro. I'm going to call and develop relationships so that when they're ready to buy MacBook Pros or whatever they're buying, they call me because they know, like, and trust me. Right. Yeah. And so it was, my marketing has always been about making people come to me instead of me going to people. And I'd like to think it's because I'm introverted. It's also because honestly, I'm kind of lazy. So I really prefer for the people to come to me. It just makes it, I read this book a long time ago that said people don't like to be sold, but they like to buy. I want them to buy me. And that's why leading with you, leading with connection is my modus operandus. Sure. Because leading with a company and product, people will leave company and product a lot faster than they'll leave a person.
Sure. Yeah.
I remember Holton Bugg saying, "You will not outfriend me," right? He's a great friend to the people that he brings on his team and his team. And that's what I've always followed. Like, if you decide to leave, if you're on my team, Mary, and you decide to go leave and go pursue something else, you are not the scum of the earth to me. You are still Mary, and I still care about you, and I'm still vested in your success, and I'm still going to support you and help you. If you're my friend and you say no to the opportunity, I still love you. I still support you. And I will not be outfriended. I just won't.
And I think that the two things that you touched on, that that people are afraid that they're going to lose friendships, is one thing. And then what was the other point I was going to make? I thought it was very, very good. I'll come back to it. I don't want to waste time. Oh, the wasting time piece. So when you talk about you're building the relationship, right? You're building the relationship and you're waiting for people to come to you. To me, it takes time to nurture a relationship, but you're also not wasting time, because if they're not ready and you're constantly pursuing them, it's a really waste of your time. When they're ready.
Right. And here's why that happens. You're about to make me preach. Why that happens. That happens because people I heard Eric Worre say this years ago. People come into network marketing with their their list of lottery tickets, their 5 golden tickets. There are 3 or 5 people that they want to do this business with, but you can't, and I'm saying this, you can't want it for them more than they want it for themselves. Right. So you have to become married to the process and detached from the outcome. And when you're married to the process, you don't get stuck on those same 3 to 5 people. Yeah. You still go out and spread the gospel to everybody else.
There you go.
Bring more people into the world of you, the magnificent world of you, that you ain't got to be emotionally attached and tied to whether those 3 or 5 people do it. And then you're not wasting your time. You're only wasting your time if you're only talking to those 3 to 5 people.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. So let's talk about, we talked about connection. Was a connection over followers? Guys, I'm just going to tell you, I got a little note here. I see it so clearly. So anyway, we talk connection over followers. Followers are the big things right now, right?
Yeah, that's a whole tactical thing that all the gurus are telling you, and they really don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. At the end of the day, I have a strong foundation in marketing. I interned at Johnson Wax, a major consumer packing goods company, right out of high school. So if I know anything, like I know my name, I know how to raise babies, I know how to change diapers, and okay? And a lot of these gurus, they are making stuff up on the fly. They're hearing sound bites and they're running with it. Followers, write this down, y'all. Write it down out there in the interwebs, okay? Tell me the last time you took a follower to the bank and they cashed it. I'll wait.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, right? In fact, that would probably be called slavery, right?
Yeah.
So you can't take followers to the bank. Business strategy. You have to have a business strategy. Be intentional. What are you posting for? And the fact is, you can build a big business online without having to actually post. A lot of people don't know that, right? It's all about making connections. That's the power of social media, is the ability to get to people that you otherwise would not be able to get to, and narrow in and hone in on them by similar interests, right? So your niche becomes really, really important. And that's where, again, your gurus and your leaders are going to be like, but everybody, like being in beauty and skincare, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, well, anybody is my ideal client who has skin. No, because let me tell you, I recently had a conversation with someone who told me that when they bathe, they only bathe like, once a week, maybe twice. And when they do, they don't use soap. And when they wash their face, they don't use cleanser. And by the way, when every now and then I just scratch some of the dead skin off. So that is a person in, but clearly hygiene, first of all, is not a priority for them.
Sure. Yeah.
Let alone skincare, self-indulgence, and self-care is not a priority for them.
Right.
So they are not, therefore, my
The
ideal
ideal
client.
client.
I am not going to waste my time, energy, effort, talent, and totality, my influence on them, because I am not in the business of persuading and convincing people. And
Yeah.
so knowing who it is that you serve and how you serve them makes it very easy to walk away from those that you don't, and you don't waste time because you know who it is that you serve.
Yeah. Yeah. And for people starting out in the business, that's a hard pill to swallow, right? I remember, just fretting over, the person, once they start to slow down in their conversation, you knew that no was coming. The whatever the objection was, it was coming. And I used to just, fret, my business is never going to grow, never going to grow. Now I know that person wouldn't have been successful on my team in the first place, because just like you said, you would have had to chase them, you had to hound them, and if somebody has to do that, they don't want the business, and you
You would
can't
have
want it. Exactly, time, energy spent, training hours, and like you said, at the end of the day, I can't want it more than they want it. So just being comfortable with walking away with that. So yeah, everybody's not your ideal customer, and it's good that when you can know that and be comfortable with walking away with it.
Exactly. And it's that power of decision, the power of deciding, this is number one for me, and I'm going to make it happen regardless of what the haters say, regardless of what mama says, regardless of what sister says or what they think. I am going to make this happen. I don't know how, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I am committed. My feet are planted firmly in the ground, committed to making this work. And that is when the magic happens.
Yeah, and that right there, I mean, you touched on a a very sticky subject there, because the decision part is where so many people get held up. There's so many people I've seen at time, and I was one of those people that that was held up for a long time. But it now it seems like, wow, just you talk about wasting time. Just that one little boop over the decision can make or break all of us. But many of us are so stuck on the backside of decision, because we think it's safe, right? Don't want to spend the money, I don't have the time. Trust me, the saying that you spend money on what you love, that thing is real. Right?
A lot of us in today's world can't afford not to do it, to be completely honest with you.
That's really what it is. You can't
like
afford to.
You're wasting money and time by not doing it. Like, there's just no, really, for a lot of us, that's how I looked at it. For me, there really was no other way, because I refused. I had decided to not go back to corporate America. And that decision, there's this book, 211 degrees. And the difference between 210 degrees and 211 degrees is that water boils. And with that water, you get steam. And with that steam, you can power a locomotion, a locomotive train.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so that decision, that 1 degree difference, by making that decision and coming to resolve, like Don Miguel Ruiz speaks of in the 4 agreements, there are only 4 emotions that are going to lead to change: anger, fear, resolve, and disgust, right? And that 1 degree based on one of those emotions is going to be enough to make your conversation sound different.
Yeah.
Your conversation is going to be different when you've made that decision. When you hit resolve, that conversation is going to be different, and people are going to look at you different. They're not going to recognize you. That's why I tell people the number 1 income producing skill, income producing activity, is personal development, because that's where that resolve That's where that tenacity comes from. And people start, you walk different, you
Yep.
sound different, you look different. And that's when your friends and family start to take notice. And that's when they will start to become your customer. That's when they will start to respect your hustle. And that's when they will join you and start sending people to you, because
Absolutely.
you transformed.
Yep.
Right. And it begins with your mind.
Mind. It begins with your mind. And I tell you that when you talk about that decision, I thank God for that decision, because I mean, like, clear as day, like that decision is like the magic. The
Mm-hmm.
magic happens when you make the decision, right?
Right.
So for me, it was, for anybody who's like, oh, what if you fail? What if you don't? That's not a decision that's gonna. That decision is off the plate. That's no
Mm-hmm.
longer an option. So failing means going forward. Fail forward. If I fall down, I'm still going forward.
I'll never forget when I made that come heaven, hell, or high water. I don't care what y'all say.
Yeah.
This is happening.
This is happening. This is happening.
It's
And
already written. It's done.
that's right. And once you have embraced that, and you start walking in, and like, hey, whatever this takes, whatever thing I need to pivot, whatever I need to adjust, I need to make some changes, I need to grow some more, I need to learn some more. This thing is going down, right?
Right.
And so, we talk about that when we go back to, I want to swing back to the topic there about the conversation as it pertains to leads,
Mm-hmm.
because the leads is what we need to grow our businesses, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to get back to, I want to just kind of wrap up because we're running out of time here. I don't want to keep you over, but how does one that's new to this idea of leads, how do they tap into that?
It begins with your network, right? Because you're going to have your lottery list of ticket. We ask you to list of lottery ticket. We ask you to develop a names list of 100 sometimes, depending on who you're working with. They still might be kind of old school and ask you to develop your hundreds list, right? But most people, it really boils down to 3 to 5, right? And so with those first 3 to 5, it's not necessarily leading with the business, okay? The conversation is going to be such like, hey, I want to run something by you. I've started this thing. I want to get your professional opinion because I admire, respect, and trust your opinion. I'd like you to take a look at this and tell me from a business perspective what you think. It may or may not be for you, but if it isn't, and even if it is, I want you to start thinking about people that it may be and help me get to those people, right? Will you help me out? That's what the conversation sounds like.
Sure.
Okay, because
sure.
if you want to know how to never be broke again, take your skill set or get a product or a service, develop a network and work that network and let people know somebody is going to buy. Somebody is going to join you. And that all it takes, that one degree, that one person to say yes, and just keep reiterating that process over and over and over again, and you will never be broken another day in your life again.
There you go. And I also want to add, for those who have already started this process, that Tamira mentioned earlier about distancing yourself. When you're talking to these contacts, you cannot put people on a pedestal. You just cannot be like, oh, he wouldn't want to be interested in that, or she wouldn't be interested in that. Actually, you're really trying to get to their network if possible, right? Just because they may not be interested, they may know somebody, that one degree of separation, right? He wasn't interested, but his friend just on the side of him was like, hey, I'll take a look.
Right. And we get so attached to that person that's in front of us that we don't realize that person is really one of a network of usually about 2,000 people. That's my, or that every person is somehow connected to at least another 2,000 people. And so by taking the pressure off of that person and having a larger view of their entire network and how can I get to their network, that is how you win. The other thing I will say, because we're talking what you can do offline, you can do online. Online, you can speed it up exponentially through your content, okay? By making your content engage other people with you, and that by way of that content, now you're expanding your network, right?
That's
You
good.
want to put content out there that attracts people to it. Like the other day, I just simply posted, and all I did, nothing fancy. I typed it and used the background right on Facebook and said, I'm curious, what's your favorite bread to make French toast with? People are still responding on that post today.
That was your post. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so those are the people that, okay, I'm collecting you now, and I'm going to go and I'm going to engage in your content. We're going to start having conversation in the DM, and I'm going to listen for the cues. And when the cues tell me to either expose you to the product or the opportunity, I'm going to. But if that doesn't happen within a couple days, I'm just going to say, you know what? You seem like a really cool person. You really seem like somebody I, kind of like to do life and business with. I've got this business thing you may or may not be interested in, but if you would like to learn more about it, just let me know and I'll send you some info. It's as simple as that.
You've already had some back and forth with them, so
Yes.
it's not cold, right?
It's not cold at all. I do not do cold. No. Because those
No
are the people
cold people.
yeah, no.
Okay.
But
All
I've
right.
touched them multiple times before I spring the question on them.
All right. I guess we're gonna have to stop there, guys, for this interview. However, you will have direct access to reach out to Tamira after this interview series. And actually, I'm going to put her on blast and let you know that she's in the Network Marketing Decoder group during this series. You can tag her there and she can answer questions there for you. And then you guys can work out more on this conversation. She'd love to assist you in that, how to make this happen. But
I really would.
She really would. And so before she goes, so she has a freebie for those in the room. Tamira, what do you have for us?
I have a free 2-part training for Instagram, Reels, and TikTok. And just today, by the way, Facebook is bringing Reels to Facebook. So they won't just be on Instagram. Okay. So it's a free 2-part training to help you build connection and community and basically convert that into profits in 30 seconds or less. Okay. It's a free 2-part video training. It also comes with a free PDF that lists out, I think I'll say 50, but it might even be upwards of 100 different Reels, story, TikTok content ideas for you. Because I know a lot of people are like, okay, you're telling me I need to do these. I just don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to make them about. Well, I got you covered with a PDF list, plus the 2-part training. And that 2-part training could easily sell for $197 to $297. It is probably the best training I've taken in all of 2021. You want that.
Nice. Guys, well, that's it. You have it for free before someone charges $197 for it. Go over to, what's the link, Tamira? Tamira.
Hamilton.com/story.
Yes, social stories.
Social stories. Okay.
Yeah.
Social
All right.
story.
TamiraHamilton.com/social stories. Head over there and register or download download or register for your free 2-part series. Get these goodies, guys. This is so exciting, and we look forward to seeing your newly created stories out on the platform. We've got to go. That's a wrap. See you guys later. Tamira, thank you so much for your time.
Bye, everybody.